Heyo, you guys know what time it is. Another 3 mark, number 23. Today we're going to be doing the Foch 155, and I was forced to change it up a little bit on the equipment from our hardening turbo rammer favorite, because Foch 155 can't take a rammer, so we just replaced that with vents directive. Of 621 and 3 for shells, the 395 heat is great for this, and you do not have a lot of versatility. I actually did not have intuition on this tank, so I fired almost no AP shells, and I don't think I fired any HE shells. And then we had food, never got lit on fire, so whatever. In terms of field mods, I started at about 2, finished with 5. Strictly better, and generally better. And for these, I'd probably go with the one that boosts my overall reload time, or makes it better, and the top reverse speed so I can get out of situations quicker. So reverse speed, I had about 16 on this. Could definitely have been a little bit quicker. And with that out of the way, let's jump into some battles. Alright, so just as a reminder, the Foch 155 mark is about 3,800 combined damage. This tank is pretty hard to play aggressively because of the terrible armor, and the 5% the 5-second ink trickle up is pretty punishing. We're actually starting off the mark at about 94.95%, which does not bode well for how this session goes. But I just want to show off the battles preceding the mark because I think that's something unique. So when we're on this map, you can take a TD up here. You can kind of do some scouting up here. I haven't been loving that recently. One thing that I do like to do in some tanks is you can bump into this, partially break it, and then there's some holes in it that you can shoot through, or just sit behind that and look for shots. Another angle that you can get on tanks to make this cross, I'm trying to line it up right here. If you're in a taller tank, you can actually line this up pretty well, where you can just shoot right down into here and get free side shots. Instead, I'm going to move up because I'm not able to find that angle in this lower tank. I'm playing on this side because I want to be able to back off onto over here. So I just got there I think I loaded too late and got there too late, so I was unable to get that shot off, which is unfortunate. I'm going to hold this angle because I know that I can pen the Chieftain prototype turret, and there's definitely the possibility that another tank is going to cross. But I also want to be able to get back pretty easily if he pokes so that I don't take a hit. Unfortunately, the way he side I'm not quite able to get an angle on him, but he could definitely end up poking. Alright, that could have hit. That would have definitely been a pen, but the accuracy on this could definitely be a little bit better. I'm going to hold the angle because he seems to want to do that again. And we get 700 damage. And now we get to load for 45 seconds. So in this time we can just scan the map. See that we got about 5 or 6 tanks out here. A lot of tanks unspotted that could also be over there. So we're not really in too much pressure. I can just wait for an opening once I've loaded, and I can hold the angle on the Chieftain prototype in the IS-32 again. That's unfortunate. Don't really want that Chieftain prototype taking damage because now it's less worthwhile to finish. Alright, now that we're loaded, we can start holding this angle again, maybe get a shot on that IS-32. I'm getting very small pixel shots on him, but given that I'm going to have to load a full clip if I fire, don't want to take those shots. I really need to just be very patiently holding this angle because he will poke. That's unfortunate. I'm not going to be able... If I hit him just right, I could have penned him, but I did not. I don't want to get shot by the prototype, so I'm trying to move back a little bit. And I'm too slow to get another shot off because of the 5-second painful entry clip. At this point, I'm holding the angle, hoping he'll pop out again. I should just be backing off and reloading because that IS-7 could poke at any moment. And eventually I give in and do that. That was an unfortunate trade, but a little bit unlucky. I definitely could have penned the IS-7 or gotten an extra shot on the IS-32. The 395 feet is enough to go through well-placed shots on the turret or most places on the hull. Let's speed this up a little bit. Does look like we're getting a little bit of action in the east. Hopefully that won't go too quickly. I'm curious about what's in the middle there. If something makes a dumb poke, I might be able to get all my shots into him, get a nice 2250 damage, which would be great. I get this Wheezy, see if we can punish him. This wood thing in front of me is a pain in the ass, but I'm able to get the quick shot off and get the pen. And then I want to get shots on the Yag Tiger. Now, we'll see that there's a truck in front of me, which I can't pen with the heat. If he fires and I have it lined up, then I can take the shot, and that's a decent trade for me. I think I've got a slightly higher chance of pinning him and higher alpha. So instead, what I'm going to do is back up a little bit here because I want to get out of the line of sight of the Wheezy and then let this guy poke. And there he takes the shot. I get my pen. And he makes the misplay of staying in my line of fire, probably hoping to get another shot off. I cross here, risking a shot from the Wheezy, but I figured it was the best angle to back up, given that there are other angles that could be getting in here. Like the IS-7 can get a little bit of an angle through here sometimes. If he popped out on this side, something else could have popped up, where I could have gotten shot by the Eye Tiger trying to get to like over here. So 3,500, I need, one more full shot would get me the mark here. Spoilers, that doesn't happen. We're looking at that Wheezy, might as well finish him if I get the opportunity. He was crossing, so I did not get the shot off quick enough. I don't believe the Yagtaker has enough. Yagtaker might have just enough hit points to secure the mark if we could get a hit on him. I'm hoping that something will just come out after the C77, go all the way around, and I'll be able to get an easy shot on it. Also, the IS-32 and IS-7 over here. As much as I might think, oh, I could just rush them, get one shot in, and secure the mark, being overly aggressive in this thing is a way of getting seriously punished. So I don't want to do that until it's a one-on-one situation. There's an Object 277 poking here that I unfortunately don't notice, but I do see the Yag Tiger. If I can get that hit, then that would be the mark there. They're trying to line up the 277. This is, as you can see, not a great shot. And he gets murdered. Alright, might as well take this kill shot. So 300 would be enough to finish the mark now. I'm going to hold this angle, hoping that he pokes again. He is not, he established he is not the brightest tool in the shed. Alright, now we have a kind of weak shot here. I take it anyway, in the hopes that he'll push out. Which he does. And shot just goes left. Unfortunate. So, at this point, I don't want to deal with him. I see this IS-7 and IS-32 here. A decent amount of hit points left. 750 on the IS-32. Can't see on the IS-7. So that's not enough on the IS-7. And he gets killed. But I can get over here quick enough, then I'll be able to get the mark. Racing against two other guys to get in here and get the shot. And we are just a second too late. But that's alright, there's still 4 more tanks. Plenty of hit points. The T-30 could easily be up in the northeast corner, or southwest corner. And that would be good. I go over to here to get on top of this ridge in case the T-30 does show up so I can get the best shots possible. He doesn't appear to be spotted, so I'm just going to keep moving. Alright, and he was over here. That was the right call. Alright, T-30 is toast. Doesn't matter anymore. And the G-Sword has just enough hit points. If I could get a shot on him, that would finish the mark. Not realistically, just the Foch 155 is not a very flexible tank, so I was not able to secure this battle. We're going to go on to the next game with about 94.95 again. Alright, so we're going into Westfields on about 94.9% on the mark, and just my luck, we spawn low again. Got all tier 10s in this match, and yeah, spawning low is a bit unlucky. Don't see any other TDs up here. Could have just as easily been that grill or somebody up there. It's actually very problematic for this tank in particular, because I need to be getting up there and making a bit of a nest out of those trees, and I won't have the opportunity to do that. Now, if this grill was smart, he would be doing that, and I wouldn't be in as much trouble. But unfortunately, he's being a big fucking idiot. So, it's really not much of another play for me on this map. In a Foch 155, I would not want to try and go south, and I don't really like any of the other positions that I'd be able to set up in, so I'm going to just try and get up there and do my best with what I've got. There's VZ55 in the middle. It's a bit annoying. I'd like to get shots on him, but from where I am, I'm not really able to get an angle on him easily. And I especially have the heat loaded with no intuition, so I can't switch to AP and hope that I can put shots through anything. So I've lined up these bushes to give me an angle on anything that can pop here, and I still get lit anyway. Might have been lit by the tank over there. I think it's a super conch, whatever this guy was over here. It's a bit hard to tell, but I'm just trying to back off so I don't get obliterated. Unfortunately, I'm not punished for that, but it's making it very hard to get any damage. This bush that I've lined up in here should be at least able to stay camoed up, but it's really not offering me much value. So my play here is just wait for them to overpoke, get some damage in. And be very aware, it looks like we're not going to win this flank, and I'm going to need to run at some point, set up, and get some additional damage in. Definitely still possible for me to close out the mark, because I only need about 4,000 to get to 95% right now. Alright, the VZ55 keeps moving around. I still can't get any angle on him, unfortunately. This Type 5 would be a huge target. That is annoying. And I'm again actually not sure what to let me there. At this point, once I start clipping, once I start reloading, I am going to have to leave. This situation is pretty bad. That might seem a bit preemptive, but once we've lost like 2 tanks, they're just going to completely overpush and we'll be boned. And our team has not been doing such a great job. Unfortunately, getting higher on these ridge really would not provide me any extra angles. I'm thinking about how I can get a shot on Type 5, but from what I see, it seems that he's totally behind the house. I don't really want to take shots on that PC-55 turret, because I'm going to have to leave once I fire those shots. I see the 277's kind of getting in. He might be taking bad pathing, I might be able to get shots on him. 780 could overpoke, and I could get a clean shot on him pretty easily. Alright, there we go, he did overpoke. At least we won't have a 0 damage game. Yeah, I'm not able to stay camming up there, which is very annoying. However, I need to get these shots off quickly, so I'm just going to take my time, aim at the Type 5. Unfortunately, it's still possible that I'll bounce, even with 395 pen, because I might just hit the tracks or something. That probably hit, yeah, it said armor not penetrated, so I think I hit the gun. Could have just hit it at a bad angle, too. Yeah, and I gotta go. And if anything, I'm staying here a little bit, stay there a little bit later than I'd like to. But this is alright. I can still get a full clip off. I'll either finish the mark or break even. Get pretty close on it, so it's not too bad, but it's definitely very risky because I could get caught out and murdered. So now the thought is I'm gonna need to basically get to somewhere around here. I was thinking I could try and go out to here, but then I have a bitch getting picked off if they play it smart. So getting somewhere about here, hopefully they'll kind of rush down and I'll get shots, or maybe something will get lit over here, this guy will come down. That's what I'm looking for. I was just not quick enough. But that's alright, because he's in a pretty bad position. I should be able to get a shot into him. No, with the speed that he's getting back at, I'm not really able to get another shot on him. Hoping that my RD will land a shot on him at this point. The VZ came behind me now, or the T62, that'd be very annoying. Alright, I get a little bit lucky on that. Already kills him. 277 would be great. For some reason not able to line up a shot on him. I think that was a skill issue. It's hard to see exactly the terrain. But at this point I know I'm not getting a shot on him. So I'm looking behind me at the VZ. The T62A could definitely show up in front of me. .780 I'd rather not shoot because of lack of hit points. I'm pushing out here because I want to get a better angle. Unfortunately, T68 comes at just the wrong time. It's kind of feeling like, yeah, okay. If you see where actually I hit him on the engine deck, so I was extremely unlucky in my opinion. But I could have played that a little bit better as well. So whatever. And I don't get any spotting damage on this, so that's very annoying. And I dropped to about 94.7% on the mark. On to the next one. Alright, so if about 94.7% of the mark, we load into Lakeville. Now, what I like to do on this map is tend to go to here, look for angles on here. I'm not going to be able to load quick enough on that, I don't think, but I'm asking the scouts to cross one of our scouts to go there anyway, or a medium to go there. To get some spots on that just because it's valuable. And I'm kind of hoping maybe I'll load quick enough or somebody will just make something really stupid. The other angle that I like to take is going out a little bit over here. I can get shots onto this angle if they show up there. And maybe a medium will just kind of try and take a spot up here and get lit, which would also work. So if nothing else going on, I'm going to line up on this. And yeah, as we see, tier 10 battle, no artillery. Not the worst setup. Not seeing anything yet. Bad shot's pretty far up. That's unfortunate. I might get a shot on him as it leaves. Alright. Just a tad too slow on that shot and hits him in the back of the track. If I'd fired that a little bit earlier, I would have gone hit, but it's a hard shot to make. Kind of judge that the chance of getting 3 quality shots off in a row is not super high, so sticking with the 2 shells is the correct play to make here. Definitely hard on a Foch 155 to make that call a lot of the time. And it's got about a 43 second reload with my current setup, as I mentioned. Alright, looks like they already got 1 tank in there, which is annoying. Would have been very good to get the far. I needed to get the farm on the cross. So if they're all going to have already been over there, I'm not going to be able to do much. 183 gets a nice clean shot into the side of the E3. If I had been up a little bit higher, I might have been able to get that shot. Certainly better than just sitting here. Kind of surprised because usually somebody ends up showing up here trying to peek that angle, but not my lucky day. At this point, I'm starting to see, can I get that same angle as the 183? And of course, once I start doing that, then the 277 decides to move to the position where I would add shots on him. I got a bad shot. Looks like he's about to cross 2. Yeah, missed that shot. And I have a very thin shot on the 277, so I'm in a little bit of an awkward position here. But I want to get lined up for the 277 as quickly as possible in case he makes a poke. Which, that would have been an okay shot if I had been all the way aimed in. Alright, and we miss. E4 has no idea about his surroundings, but that's whatever. And I take the blind shot because I'm going to reload anyway, and it goes not where I aimed, which is very annoying. So I've done 0 damage. We're 3 minutes into the game, and it's 5-1. So this is looking pretty bad. Rather than waiting to reload, I think that I need to get aggressive and just see what I can do with this game. So I'm going to go all the way around and try and get into this engagement. Now playing this engagement in Foch is really hard because you're almost always going to take a hit lining up the shots because of your terrible armor. And yeah, there's Centurion Action X in middle. That's really annoying. I'm going to have to slow down a bit here because I'll probably be lit by the time I get to the next cross. I don't want to take another 390 damage. But he might get lit and I might be able to get a farm on him. So I'm going to line this up. Now, there's 2 positions he could be. He could be here, which is where I think he is. He could also be on this rock. And he ends up being on this rock. In hindsight, I think this might have been a little bit too far. You see a tree down here, so this is, is another target. And it looks like he might be on top. Since he's not lit, he's going to be less aware. So, oh, great, 4K5. Okay. And we get a little bit lucky and that shot lands. And we get a little bit lucky and that shot lands. So now we're going to look at the Centurion Action X. I'm not too optimistic about him pulling out, or yeah, so I just reload and get out of here. That puts us up a little bit, but we still desperately need to get some more damage in here so we don't drop a huge amount on the mark. I don't care about this 277, I'm just looking for something with more hit points. A little bit of a bad cross, but that's alright. Now I can line up shots on the Centurion Action X. If I can tag him anywhere, that's a damaging shot. Hoping he gets pushed out. At this point I've already committed to it, I might as well wait for the shot to pop out. Alright. Not particularly happy about that. It's 10-2, I've really got to get moving and just see if I can get any more damage on anything. He's looking like he's going to be toast before I can get a shot on him, so we go for it, but we did not get it. AMX 30B is run. I don't have an angle on him. The 140 could also be up there, so I just want to drive at it. If I can get spotting on it, that's perfectly fine by me, or maybe I'll be able to get up there and get a shot. Alright, 140 lined up, and get a little bit of spotting. I just don't want to track him because that'll get rid of my spotting damage. Turns out in that situation, tracking him probably would have been better, but that's alright. Now we're about 2,900. We need about another 900 damage to break even on the mark, and it's not looking great. I really should be able to get another shot on him here. I do need to make sure to carefully aim so I don't hit his gun though. And I do get the extra shot. So we lose a little bit on the mark, and now we're down to about 94.6%. Alright, so we're on Ghost Town now. Assault, defense, this is a map choice that I quite like. And we got tier 9s and 10. We're about 94.6% on the mark. And we've just not been performing. It's been a combination of the bad luck, bad decision making, and not the easiest maps to play. So that's just how it goes sometimes. On this map, what I like to do is generally play the northeast side. I love this little ridge that you have on the back of these houses. You can get some really cheeky shots at that. I'll look for is I can get shots into up here on either sides of this rock, and we can also get shots on this cross here. And if you line up right about here, you can get shots on this cross. Now I'm not sure initially if I want to take that because I'm in a Foch and I'm not sure I'll load in time, but I do opt to do that because I've got some slower tanks on their team. I think yeah, like an IS-4 could cross that, Type 4 heavy, so I think expect to see that. So we line up the shot, and the problem here is that I'm lining up just a little bit low. Should be lining up a little bit higher just to get those side shots. Take the shot, too low. That's entirely a skill issue, and it's very unfortunate because I went through the whole effort of getting the good position just to fuck it up. We've got this char back here. I'm thinking about if I want to go for him. I was hoping that the Type 4 would show up and cross, but at this point, kind of find this hard to ignore. And he's just on the other side of this. Okay, he's now pretty much toast. I don't want to deal with him. And unfortunately, we got this pain in the ass object in the way if the char were to go around. This is a bit of a weird play. I do not usually see enemies show up here, so I'm not exactly sure what they're planning on doing. Got another angle. I like to play this more from the other side. And, okay. And there's just some bullshit right here. That means those heat shells can't go through, which is very frustrating. If I had AP loaded, that would have been an easy shot on the lower hull of the VZ. Instead, I'm taking 900 damage for 750 pretty early in the game. So now we have 45 seconds to think about what we've done and how embarrassing that was. So we still got a fair amount of tanks unlit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Charbs might try and go around again. Oh, generally, once a guy ends up around here, I don't end up seeing him again for the rest of the battle until later. So the Type 4 is still unspotted, so I'm wondering if he might be in here, which would be great if I could farm him. IS-4, the only chance I see the IS-4 is if he pops up on this side, so we'll see. And the char looks like he might be trying to get behind us. I basically need to find an angle that I can hold, because I'm not able to, that's my only chance of getting damage out without taking damage in return. Now, I think that that's the bat shot, but realistically that could have also been a stirb up there, in hindsight. At this point, I'm worried that they'll overpush, so I'm going to get back onto this ridge. This would provide me a pretty safe path of escape. And let me get a nice angle on the char in case he pokes without being vulnerable to any other angles. So we'll just line that up. I'm also looking at that angle in case the bat shot gets lit there, or the M5Y. And I see that the stirb is up there. One of the stirbs, anyway. And now, if I had been there, I would have had shots on the bat shot. So I'm going to get a little bit aggressive just because I need to get these shots out and I can run once I've reloaded. We've got great shots on the stirb now. Alright. That ends up being a damaging hit. Unfortunately, the bat shot leaves. That shot goes a bit low. It's hard to say if the stirb is still there. I may have gotten a track on it, I may not have. And that's another miss. That's really unfortunate. I'm at about 1500 damage now, and I need another 2300 to break even on the mark, which would be a full clip. Situation is looking pretty bad. In fact, I should probably be running all the way here right now, or trying to get out to here. But the bat shot's going to be covering this ground pretty quickly. We've got all these guys closing on us, and it may only be 3-5, but this match is looking really fucked. In fact, is that guy AFK, or is he just really dumb? It's hard to tell. Okay. Playing this could allow me to get the rest of the damage that I need. I'm just about to load, so I start lining up a shot on that bat shot. And that's just too slow. Should not have taken that shot. Now, I don't know why this bat is not just murdering this char. That's the play that I should expect most of the time, but unfortunately it means that I do not get the shot off on this bat. And with the char dead, I expect that the bat's going to be smart and wait till he goes dark before he pokes out. Killing this Type 4 would not provide me a lot of value, unfortunately. I can hold this angle. I think I should get a shot on the side of the VZ turret, maybe. Okay, the char pokes out. Take my time aiming at him. He's not paying attention to me, so I'm able to aim the shot even though I was lit. At this point, I'm going to get one more shot off, and I'm very sad about that. But, we gotta take our time, try and aim at the IS-4 and get that little bit of damage we can. I think he bumped up right as I fired that, causing it to be at a really bad angle. I should never bounce that shot, so I'm a bit frustrated on that. And at this point, I'm living on borrowed time because the serve has shots on my ass, and I don't know why I'm not dead yet. I think the serve might have been a little bit higher, so he only had shots, or maybe like down here, so he only had shots when I was up high. So my goal is to stay alive as long as possible, and maybe the 4K5 will get another shot into him. Spoiler, he does not. And so now we're down to about 94.3% from our start of 94.95. Alright, so about 94.3% on the mark, we're loading into Corellia. And this is a map that I love to see in most tanks, but also tank destroyers, because I find this position, you got this position on this side, so about here on this rock, and then a corresponding position on this side, or you can play up front in these two positions, and you can get shots on people coming in early and get some free damage to the mark. I generally do not try and dump into here in pubs. I find that you're really at the mercy of your team, and it often does not go well. Even if you don't die, you don't end up getting a great performance. So we're going to line up on this tree, and we're just going to look at whatever comes in. With any luck, we can get a couple, 1, 2, 3 shots in. I'm going to knock over this tree to try and provide better camo. Now, the way I knocked over this tree I think was less than ideal. This tree has some weird properties. Ayuxin has a video on it. But it can provide camo when it's not fully transparent. Or when it is fully transparent. Which if you know top spotting works, that's not supposed to happen. Alright, so we got a shot on the concept. A little bit of a bad shot. It goes... Well, go to the east, and then or it goes to the right, it hits him in the track. That one goes through, get some damage, get some tracking. Alright, so that's great. But I did get spotted, which I could have easily been punished if they had their TDs there. In fact, there's kind of hint. I think I took one shot incoming, so I expect there's maybe one guy there. I take the shot, misses, whatever. I was gonna have to reload anyway. That's a bit of an interesting start. At this point, I'm just looking at the map. We got some kind of weird stuff going on. So not seeing anything here is kind of weird. Haven't seen anything up here yet, although I wouldn't be surprised if they run some more tanks. It could be that they're all just hard camping. Could be that there's kind of a couple guys in here, a couple guys in here. But I don't want to just sit here forever. So once this Leo PTA, if the Leo PTA I see take a hit, then I can fire over here because I know that there's an unload tank there. If I don't see anything happening, which I don't, now it's kind of making me think he could be hiding behind a rock here. There could be a guy behind this rock, which is what I would be doing. Or they could just not have anything there. At this point, I think he would have taken a hit if there's anything back there. I really should move in. And the next position that I want to move into is there's kind of a bush line over here. I could get shots on the T-5041. Or if there's anything that gets lit up here, I should have shots on there without getting lit. Alright, they got the TNH moving up as well. And got an M103 versus E3 up there. So I'm hoping with this bush line I can hop up and then I should be able to get lit by anything. And just be able to line up shots. So we're going to line up on the side of that rock and wait for the 5041 to poke out. I'm also trying to figure out where that TNH might show up, but that's alright. Just a second too late. At this point I'm hoping that something else will show up so I can take this shot because I'm going to need to reload soon. Trying to figure out exactly where that TNH might pop up. There's an angle on the right, or he could kind of, there's some like kind of holes that he could shoot through. So this is where I'm expecting that he might pop up. I can hold this angle and just click if he shows up. Think about what else might be there. We got the two T-30s, we got the phase 1 is up there now. It's an object T-68, and the 2 artillery. Alright, I do actually have a shot on him, it looks like. And I get the hit. At this point, these guys are both toast. So it look like they're toast. So I'm getting ready to start pushing up. However, they actually do have pretty good positions. They killed the 183, and now I'm realizing that Type 4 is not going to be able to clean them up. I don't want to be the one that's taking hits for that because I would probably just die trying to go for that, even if I was loaded. So let's take a look at the SCV. That was 1,000 hit points. I'm interested in that, but I'm making the judgment call. I should go all the way around. I think that this battle is fairly stagnant, and that I have the time to get all the way around the map. If I can pick up the phase 1, and then maybe get another shot, and I think that should be enough for the mark. Since we're about 94.3, that should mean that we need about maybe 6,500 to close out the mark from here. And I'm going to ask in chat, try and get some information on the phase's hit points. Maybe if somebody had taken a shot from, say, the 268 up here, that would kind of tell me that he's around there. My other option would be to try and take a passive position back here again, or maybe back here, and wait for them to get pushed around on. But given the low hit points of those tanks, I opt not to do that. And I think we got told base has about 900 hit points. Okay, great. Unfortunately, he got murdered anyway, but that could have been useful information. I'm going to rush in there. Normally, well, I'm expecting that I'll be able to get a 1v1 situation on anything that's up there. Maybe a 2v1 with the T-30, but everything else seems to be accounted for. Or I could run into the artillery up there. That would also be great. Just pop one off, get another 600, 500 damage. I do want the EBR to try and support me, so I believe I asked for that in chat. I take this path where I have a line through the bushes. I should get lit. Okay, we see the T-30 over here. That's not too bad. If I can get 2 shots into him and then the EBR kills him, that would be ideal, so I'd have the other shot freed up. Or maybe I'll just be able to kill him myself. Alright, the T-30 pops up here, which is a little bit earlier than I wanted to pop up. So I say, okay, whatever, I'm going to take the hit. I'll be able to get my 2 or 3 shots into him. I can definitely get 2 shots off without taking another hit. So we're going to just do that. And he gets hit by artillery. And we get the high roll, so that's not bad. Now I'm expecting the other T-30 might pop up here, and honestly, if I can trade 1 for 1 with him, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I get a little bit lucky he bounces. So I don't want him to over push me, because he should kill me in the 45 seconds that I have, so I want to get a little bit back on this ridge, but I also am worried that artillery will kill me. So I'm just going to kind of get as far forward as I can, and now with this, T-30 is pushing on me. Now I realize the T-30 is probably going to over push me. I have good camo, and I'm not spotted, so I can probably get around here. So I turn around, getting ready to run. And now the T-30, I think, is going to move up and try and get me, so I think that I have to take this risk now. And we're able to get out of there just in time. And I can just swing around, get another shot into the T-30, finish him off, wouldn't be bad. At this point, I don't even want to take this shot, but I figure I might as well. And he gets killed by artillery just as I managed to get spotted. But that doesn't really matter. So now we don't know the hit points on the 268 or these artillery. If they're still full, that'd be honestly great. We got the SCB, it was about 1,000. That looks like he's probably still about 1,000. And then these 2 guys were definitely one-shots. So EBR scouting, I can just use him. So we're going to start pushing up a little bit aggressively. I'm a little bit wary at first because if I get outspotted, it could definitely be in a bad situation. But now, once we see the 268 is no longer up here, definitely got to push in. And we're about 5,200 combined. Needing a 1 shot, maybe a little bit more than 1 shot to close at the mark. Alright, that's one already down, that's unfortunate. There could still be another artillery up here, so that's why I'm kind of taking this line, thinking about going up here. But I think I end up cutting in here early. The 261 does end up being down here. I don't know if I had a way of knowing that, or if I just ended up going this way, but that's alright. Or maybe I'm hoping to poke up here. So now we have the base. What we should do is I should line up for shots, and the EBR should just sit on cap. Maybe get the other artillery to get up here, get the artillery moving around. That'd be great, and then we can just pressure them out. Alright, SGV's on oh no, he's on 1,000 hit points. Okay, good. So my view range is decent enough, and I have enough camo. I should be able to outspot anything. Alright, it's frustrating. I don't really get punished for that, but Now, this already really should kill the TNH, but that doesn't end up happening. Now, I opt to not get on cap here. I just think that this is having this angle is better. And of course, I don't care about winning. I only care about getting another 900 or whatever damage I need to get. I decided to hold this angle. I think that I'll have enough time to aim on the TNH if he pokes again, or he might poke on the other side of this rock. I'm expecting that the 268 should show up trying to push in soon. Alright, we held the angle, and guess right, TNH dies. And now I'm just guessing, do I want to reload? Or do I think the 268 is going to come soon? Given that we have that, yeah, okay. And artillery is cancer, I move back a little bit too quickly and get lit for it. Alright, take the shot on the 268, take all of our time. Alright, that was a nice hit, but I do still need maybe another 500 damage at least or something. Close. Don't think the 261 has, yeah, 261 no longer has enough hit points. And unfortunately there's just not enough hit points left on the enemy team for me to close the mark. EBR gets murdered for no reason. And I just think, okay, I'll just get on cap, maybe we can finish up this game with a win. Not sure how many hit points the T-54E1 has exactly. If I can get the damage on him, that might be worthwhile. I went up here expecting that I should be able to light him, and just end up getting hit by artillery instead, because he pokes off a bad angle for me. 261 has a very fast fire rate, so I don't want to just sit in the same spot, because I'll probably get hit. I'm getting off cap to try and get another angle, and play this kind of poorly. Probably should have just sat on cap, but I didn't want to get by artillery. Whatever, I died. On to the next one. Alright, we're loading to Runeberg, about 94.87% on the mark, which means that we need about 4,500, 5,000 to close it out. All tier 10 game, 1 artillery. Now, again, I usually do not play on this side of the map. I find that either you lose and get fucked, or you win and you have no opportunity to do damage here. So I don't really like that for any tank destroyer. Something more aggressive, like a medium might be able to play a little bit more aggressively here, but that's alright. So, I like to play this side from the opposite, on the opposite side. I've been experimenting with is playing in this bush line, which can have some success. However, there's also another position that you can play that I'm going to right now, where you play a little bit back, you use this wall as hard cover, and then these bushes as concealment from this position, and you can get shots into here. You can also get shots on guys that are making bad pokes here. And this should allow us to get some decent quality shots off without putting us at any risk. In terms of other positions, there's a position you can try and play in tanks or tank destroyers here. That sucks. Tier is too far back to really do anything. That's alright. Alright, we got a shot on the VZ. Might as well take it. And it does not connect. If I get him in the upper hole, that should be a pretty good pen. Hard to say exactly where the shells are going. Alright, and we do get lucky. Now, those were low probability shots, but they were pretty much zero risk. A little bit of opportunity cost. If the guys had done something really stupid, that might have been better farm, but whatever. And this is pretty solid because they have basically no ability to spawn me. They could try and blind fire at me, but until they push up, I should be totally safe and able to get free shots in. Now, what we do see is this is a shit show, and we're likely to be overpushed on the east, so that does put a little bit of time pressure on us. Right now, this area is is totally the focus of my mind. I just don't really have a way of farming this out if they push this aggressively. Unfortunately, VZ has learned his lesson, and his 4 doesn't look to be too aggressive. Got this E3 here. Poking him is not likely to end well. If he made a very aggressive push, I might be able to get some damage on him. Okay, VZ's dead. Yeah, I think I'm trying to take a look at that E5. He was poked out a little bit, but not a great target because he'd actually be able to see me and shoot back. So at this point, my thought is I should move forward before this just takes over, flanks us, and see if I can do anything. This is a very awkward position to try and push into, and then the E5 spots pokes up there. Probably should have predicted that given his movement, but whatever. If I can land shots on his cupola, then that should be a nice 750. And at this distance, I should, at worst, trade 1 for 1 with him. I'm hoping that the Minotauro and 279 will overpush and tank hits, and then I'll be able to push the IS-4 and Panther 7, get those shots in for free. Did not do that. Alright, don't know exactly where that hit, but I am able to get back just in time and not take a hit there. That's pretty unlucky for both of us. Those shots should both almost always pen. We're going to look at this cupola. It looked like he might have had his cupola pop up above the VZ, which would be perfect. And we just get a nice little shot there. He isn't able to get a shot onto us. I'm going to hold the angle again. Alright, we have a nice shot in his lower hole, which I am able to get off. Alright, so we're about 2,300 now of the about 500 that I want to get. At this point, I can stay safe here and kind of analyze the battlefield. I don't think I'm really getting anything more on this E5. I can't push this Panther 7 IS-4, and they've been beaten down pretty badly. The E3 back here, serve. I might be able to get a shot on something in the poke here, so I'm kind of hoping for that. The E5 starts making pokes again, maybe I could go for him. Or if I can just get out of here and get into a position to kind of get angles on people coming into the base, that would also be great. Now Manti and 4K5 moving in. 4K5 could definitely end my game right here, but it looks like he's about to make a dumb poke, so I'm going to line that up. Alright, he's taking his time so we can take our time. A little bit early on the shot, but it works out. And those bushes provide me camo so that he isn't able to get a shot on us. I don't think he's going to be dumb enough to poke again just right now. Lining this up to see if the Yutas get spotted here. I don't think that I would. I'm very unlikely to spot him there though. So I'm going to go back, take another look at the 4K5. A little bit just by intuition, but my timing is actually very good on that. Shot goes right where I want it to go. Nice. Might as well see if I get a shot on the stirrup because I'm going to have to reload anyway. Whatever. So now we want another 1,000, 1,500 damage. So I'm going to take my time and reload. I don't want to start getting into position just yet because I could end up with 30 seconds on my loads running into a Yutas and just getting murdered, which would be sad. So I got a 4K5 last scene over here. I got the Stirb, the Yutas. So that Stirb I don't care about. The CS has plenty of points. So, okay, great. Yutas is over here, as I was hoping. So I can push into here and just be ready to get some farm on him. I'm moving over a little bit because I don't want to get spotted until I'm ready to fire. And it looks like he's going to just be going onto the other side of the C4 and he won't overpush, which basically means I have free damage on him. And he realizes he made a mistake a little bit late. I hate to take that shot, and it was a pretty bad shot too, but I can't leave him alive. It didn't look like anything else was going to finish him. Alright, now if we can get a shot on the Stirb over the 4K5, that would be perfect. Should be enough to finish up the mark, and now I'm not so sure about that. Alright, let's see if we can line up the 4K5. And we take a really bad shot and secure the mark. Let's just see how this finishes up. I'm probably ram the Stirb to death. Maybe I get a shot on the 4K5. Okay, he's dead. Just avoid the Stirb so that I can close the distance and get the shot of the ram kill on him. And then we can look at the CS. Alright. Get a nice little bit of insurance there. CS is pretty far. I don't think I'm getting a shot on him. I line up the Manti in case he makes a dumb poke. Well, the CS has more points than I'd expect at this point. Alright, he gets a nice hit on me. And I see the CS still has all those hit points, so I try and line him up. And get shot in the ass. Whatever, 95.16, mark is finished. Well, that's a wrap for the Foch. Sorry those weren't any super banger games, but I wanted to show off the genuine finish to the 3 mark and not just cherry pick my best games. And just as some closing notes, I mean, yeah, this equipment choice that I went with all seemed to operate pretty well. And the kind of ideal playstyle that I found was taking a very passive approach from the beginning and being willing to risk missing your shots because you have 3 of them. You can get 3 shots off on a cross, while a lot of other tanks can only get 1, and you have a decent chance of getting that. And then having your hit points at the end of the game so that you can go put that 2250 into something to get your damage up. And you just definitely can't play this as a frontline tank. No matter how much I wish it was Yagi 100 and E3, you are going to get penned pretty much every time. There's just no workable armor on this tank. And for the Foch 155, I had about 3,800 damage for the session, or I guess the last 2 days that I was trying to mark it or working on marking it. and about 450 assists for a 3,800 mark. I actually, for the yesterday, when I was finishing up that was the second part of the mark, was about 24 games. I had about 4,500 average damage, and I was able to really click with this tank, but definitely had a rough start with it. So not a bad mark. It's definitely a little bit complex. Definitely not like the easiest tank to play, but if you can adapt that playstyle and play pretty passively at the beginning and then aggressively at the end, I think it's not a terribly hard mark. All right, that's all I've got. See you, boys.